Hey everyone.
Happy Friday, folks. Sorry for the hiccup there. Our software was giving us some issues.
It was, but we are back.
Yes, and happy Friday. Hard to believe we are now halfway through the month of September.
Yep, and something we have to get used to in this new era of sports streaming, we have a K-State game tonight.
Yes.
Friday night.
And hopefully we win this time. But yeah, just want to go over some of the deals this week. It's been a busy week in the streaming space, especially the latter end of the week. So YouTube TV, howdy. YouTube TV is still at their $33 off a month for the first 2 months, making it $50. That offer is good through the end of this month, so September 30th. It's reportedly also available for new subscribers as well as current. And they have a 10-day free trial. Let's see here. Fubo still at $30 off a month, all plans. DirecTV is still $35 to $45 off their signature plans for the first month. And My Sports is $10 off a month for the first 2 months. My Entertainment and Mi Español is $5 off a month for the first 2 months. And the Paramount Plus offer that we mentioned last week, making it 50% off for annual plans. So making them $30 or $60 annually is still good. That is good through the 18th, so almost another week. So as I mentioned, a lot of news in the streaming space, especially the last couple of days, and one that came out yesterday afternoon that you likely possibly saw is Paramount Skydance is reportedly going to make a nearly all-cash offer for Warner Brothers Discovery. This news broke yesterday afternoon, and per the Wall Street Journal, quote, the bid will be for the entire company, including its cable networks and movie studio, the people said. Warner said late last year it planned to restructure into 2 operating divisions, one focused on the legacy cable TV business and the other in streaming and studios, unquote. And according to Yahoo Finance, it's the belief that the Ellison family, so those associated with Paramount Skydance, they are looking to back the deal, and reportedly that is vital to getting the deal done. And reports have come out that Paramount Global is not giving up on linear; they're actually going closer to being all in. With Yahoo Finance saying Paramount Global has previously also said it would retain and develop its own cable networks. The company said it was not thinking about cable as a declining linear asset that we need to spin off or deal with somehow. So it's too early to tell how this will impact streaming, most notably Paramount Plus and HBO Max. Just to name a few, it would also put CBS News and CNN under the same umbrella, and there's concerns about that as to whether or not it would be cleared by the administration, and this would not be a cheap deal. So Warner Brothers Discovery is worth currently $41 billion, and it has $35 billion in debt. Comparing that to the Ellison family, Larry Ellison has a reported net worth of almost $400 billion, $383 billion. So, YOLO. So, this just came out yesterday afternoon. Any speculation would be speculation at this point. In reading about it, a number I have seen, analysts of people have said that, this is just would make streaming worse, because it would really come down to who has the most money, and bringing it down to a small, leveling the playing field, making it smaller, whatever phrase you want to use. But it's interesting to see, very fascinating, and Paramount has a fair share of sports. WBD has, through Warner Brothers, the Warner Brothers arm has sort of begun to distance itself from sports. So there could be some natural partnership there to bring sports back in. But it's tough to say, and certainly is not something that will happen overnight, or if it would even be approved. And not by any means trying to be political, but it will just be fascinating to see if it
Whatever
gets
will they
approved.
do if it goes through with the new name for Max? What would that be if they were to combine their streaming services?
Max Plus.
Yeah. Although it would be compelling to bring CBS live feeds into, because both Paramount Plus and Max have good original content. So it'd be an interesting combination.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll continue to be watching that.
Yep. So into our next story is something we definitely don't like. It's a price hike. We really, like you guys, we hate price hikes, especially if there's no value to justify the increase. Well, DirecTV is the latest to increase pricing on plans. They announced pricing will increase on or after October 5th. What's odd is they are not currently making public just how much prices for the different plans are going to go up. So TV Answer Man had a good article where he basically summarized from across Reddit and different message boards, people logging into their account and seeing what DirecTV is telling them their prices will go up by. From that, and also some reporting by Cord Cutter News, it seems like they're going to go up by as much as $11 a month for the higher end signature packs and $5 monthly on entertainment. But it's not just those that are increasing. Reportedly, add-ons will also go up in price, like $5 for the movie extra pack. The RSN fee will reportedly increase by $2 a month. Now, DirecTV is placing the blame for this on the costs that it says it's incurring to offer content. There's no word yet on if these price hikes will impact the genre packs or not, but we do know it's going to hit both streaming and satellite customers. The last price increase DirecTV had was in October of 2024, and really, sadly, this is just the state of streaming. We see price hikes nearly annually, and they are just going up, right back to where cable was. Alternatives to DirecTV, if you need a true cable replacement, would be YouTube TV and Hulu Live. They're both a little bit cheaper, and neither one of them force an RSN fee on you. Sling is also a good option that would cut your costs nearly in half, although admittedly you would be getting fewer channels. So curious if you or anyone you know is a DirecTV customer, if you have heard from them what you or their plans would be going up by. Just drop it in the chat. Be interesting to get more information on that.
Yeah, and to be clear, I've not seen anything about the genre packs, just the the signature packs, and for satellite. Especially with the genre packs just being launched in January, but
Yep.
This is DirecTV, and DirecTV prices are already too high. I would totally agree with the comments there, and we're just going to, as Nicole was mentioning, we're just going to continue to see this. I find odd that they've not made public yet. Mm-hmm. A few publications have put out what they've seen, and it's been all over Twitter and Reddit, all over social media. Some customers are being emailed or seeing when they log into their accounts what their pricing is going to be, but nothing being official.
Yeah, that is really interesting.
Yeah.
It's very different from how these companies
it's
typically announce their price increases. So that just is curious if they're trying to beta test something and see if anyone unsubscribes or what.
Yeah. For sure, and I do, at least, good question on, do you think WBD is going to split for a sale? All public posturing is showing that they're fully intending to split. That being said, I would anticipate them to split unless Paramount Skydance just blows them out of the water with the deal.
Yeah, and I've seen that some reporting that Larry Ellison wants the entire
Yes,
he wants
he
the
does.
whole thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to just buy one piece of WBD's operations. He wants all of it, which is more money, but he views as a better deal if he can just get everything and then maybe split things off after the buy.
Yeah, and Discovery Global, as we discussed last week, still has a 20% chunk of Warner Brothers that they, at least as of a week ago, were open to and looking to selling that part in attempts to try and knock down some of the debt that they're going to be associated with. once this
Yeah.
spinoff is complete.
Yep, that debt is a critical piece of it.
Yeah, and so more news about Warner Brothers Discovery. They have joined Disney in suing Sling. The last 2 weeks we've discussed the lawsuit that Disney brought about against Dish over the passes by Sling. Those passes are daily, weekend, or week-long, only available for Sling Orange. And Sling came out swinging last week, as we discussed in their press release, where it directly went at Disney, saying this is a deal ESPN and Disney don't want you to know about. They're charging $30 a month for games people used to get without paying more. Sling isn't playing that game. We're giving subscribers what they actually want, access to TV for the entire day, $5 and no strings. This week, WBD called them on that, and they are suing they're suing Sling. And in the lawsuit, it said, quote, Dish's brazen actions are causing and will continue to cause irreparable harm to programmers. The passes undermine programmers' business model, which depends on monthly subscriptions. And WBD went on to send us in a statement to Variety where it said, while we value our partnership with Dish, this program violates the terms of our agreement. We hope this issue is quickly and amicably resolved. Sling nor Dish is commenting on the matter, only to give marketing spin to Variety, where it touts how they've broken the mold of expensive monopolistic TV with their pay-as-you-go model. Unsurprisingly, WBD is claiming Dish is a breach of contract, claiming an unauthorized distribution of its networks, and they're saying that, like in the case of Disney with ESPN, they're saying that Dish never came to them and said, can we do this with your channels? And the channels in question are TNT, TBS, HGTV, Investigation Discovery, and Food Network, which are available in the orange package, and arguably a bit less valuable than ESPN, but those TNT and TBS are really big for sports. And WBD has gone further in saying that other partners have reached out to them asking about the possibility of being able to offer a short-term thing, just like Sling is doing with the passes. And so the Hollywood Reporter is explaining the issue this way, because WBD is claiming that Dish is doing what they're doing is completely upending the long-established business model of studios. So Hollywood Reporter is explaining it this way. Consider the US Open, which Disney bought the rights to based on a packaged multi-week event. The company can't pick and choose which matches to acquire, even though viewers only watch a handful. Disney justifies acquisition because subscribers pay for a monthly subscription. Offering one-time access to the event by way of a day pass upends these economics. And, like we've discussed the last couple of weeks, we get this. We understand it. We understand that Disney, and in this case WBD, has laid out money to secure the rights to something, and that's on the assumption of the monthly model that people like you and I are going to subscribe at least for a month to get whatever that is. And so offering something that is for a day or a week is going to upset the apple cart and cause them, WBD and Disney, to lose money. And it's telling that WBD is claiming that other programmers are reaching out to them saying, hey, can we offer this too? And I would argue to a certain extent that they're seeing the writing on the wall, that YouTube TV sees that they're continuing to offer steep discounts after their price hike. They want to keep people under their umbrella. And I agree, if Sling wins this could be a pretty substantial change to be able to get, truly a la carte.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that that's going to happen. I think there's too much money in it. But, that's ideally, obviously, what we want and what many people want, just to be able to pay for what they want and not have to deal with the other fluff that that they don't want. I want ESPN without having the other 9 or 10 or 11 Disney channels that you're going to force on me.
Yeah, which with ESPN Unlimited, there's an option offering that now. So, but I really do like the idea of giving you what you want just for a day or a weekend, or in some cases a week. And I agree. I hope Sling wins. And really, the only real way to fight this and price increases in every aspect of life is with our wallets. And that's the only way that they're only going to keep charging more until enough people say, no, I'm not paying this anymore. I'm just going to choose to go without until it gets back down to something I think is fair or worth it to me.
For sure. And they could possibly feel, because for the recently, last year or two, really, Dish and Sling have struggled because of the debts that EchoStar has. And they, last week sold off more Spectrum licenses to Starlink. So between that and AT&T, they've sold those off for $40 billion total, which is a massive chunk of money that they can use to knock down debt. Does EchoStar pivot? Because they still own Boost Mobile. Do they pivot? Do they go all in? Do they try and sell Sling? I hope that they don't do that. I hope it doesn't go away. I hope that Sling is able to have some level of measured success in this. So yeah, it'll be fascinating to see how this plays out. And I think relative to Discovery, I think it's going to continue to stick around. Because I think there's a market for it. I never really personally watched it. Nicole has quite a bit, and there are other people like that want to watch that kind of content without paying an arm and a leg.
And there's a lot of people that get that content now through cable. And so I think the question is, will enough of those people switch over to streaming and just uncouple from their cable? I think of older folks we know, and thinking that they might not be comfortable with that. So, but there's definitely a market. There's an audience for it, for sure.
And I think even.
I could also see something where Netflix comes in and picks up some of that content, because they're also looking for sit back, always on, in the background kind of content. It's tailored for that. For sure.
And Discovery Global has said they're going to resuscitate Discovery Plus. If Paramount Skydance buys them out, I would foresee them definitely trying to keep it, because they are communicating that they're going all in on streaming and on linear. So yeah, and unfortunately no news yet on when Hulu will be totally phased out, so far as I know. Yeah, same. Okay, so moving on, there's another not so great story about another carriage dispute. That's why I say it's not so great. YouTube TV may be up for another one of those. This is just weeks after it finalized a deal at the last minute with Fox to keep all of its stations on the air. And remember, we discussed last week how this could be in part because of the rumored not so skinny bundle from YouTube TV that could be on its way in the near future. Well, this week it looks like Univision is the next network, or Univision, that could be up for a fight. As with most other carriage disputes, the argument's gone public. It's become nasty awfully quick. According to Axios, the issue at play here is whether Univision will sit within the YouTube TV ecosystem. Axios said, quote, YouTube TV insists that Univision will be pulled from its standard TV package where it currently sits and instead move to a Spanish language package that consumers would need to pay additional money to access. And then they also said that deal, Televisa Univision executives believe, is untenable because it's so far out of step with other national distribution deals with YouTube TV's competitors. So while Univision is saying publicly that YouTube TV wants to move the network to an add-on package that would cost $15 to get it, plus other Spanish language channels, they're also saying that YouTube TV would require a base subscription to get the add-on. So that would be different than what someone like Fubo does, where they have a Latino-only package that's roughly $30 a month without any promotions. So why is this an issue? Well,
Univision resides in the standard plan with every other pay TV distribution deal it has. It just recently re-upped deals with Hulu Live and DirecTV. And the parent company, Televisa Univision, also owns the streaming service VIX, which is the world's largest Spanish language streaming service. Now, digging into this a little bit more, a report from Nielsen, reveals that Hispanic audiences use streaming more than other viewers in the U.S. Now, something that Univision's not declaring from the rooftops, which is true, is that YouTube TV does have a Spanish-only plan for $35 a month that does include Univision, and it does not require a subscription to the base YouTube TV plan. But it's limited on channels, and it does not have popular networks like ESPN, for instance. So if no deal is worked out, bottom line, YouTube TV will lose Univision on September 30th. And as we've discussed in recent weeks, it being YouTube TV also has upcoming carriage deals that end before the end of this year for Disney and NBC Universal. So things could get interesting for YouTube TV subscribers in this last couple months of the year. Especially,
like you said with Disney, they still don't have authentication access for ESPN Unlimited through YouTube TV, and that's going to be a big sticking point, and would get more eyes on ESPN Unlimited if the largest live streaming service were to have access to it. But I would imagine that would also likely involve a price hike from YouTube TV.
Yeah.
So moving on to our next story, DirecTV has added quite a few more local networks to the My Sports genre pack. And news came out this week that they have arranged deals with approximately 650 local broadcast stations. And so it's important to remember at launch, they had limited local network access across the country. So we're fans of this. In fact, it didn't even have CBS at launch. And per DirecTV, they say My Sports currently boasts 160 active ABC, 156 CBS, 163 NBC, and 178 Fox station commitments. ABC local stations are available to approximately 90% of potential U.S. homes, CBS an 85%, NBC 99%, and Fox 96%. And the company says it has gained commitments from nearly all of the nation's top 10 largest broadcasters, including Gray, Sinclair, Tegna, Scripps, and Hearst, as well as agreements with a number of the top 11 to 20 broadcasters. Nexstar is really the major holdout that's of note. And if you're considering the genre pack, I believe Nicole has up on screen this press release from DirecTV where it lists out the top 50 TV markets for DirecTV and what local stations the pack includes. So many of them, they include all four, which is great to see. And per DirecTV, they say we created, and this is some marketing speak, we created My Sports to provide consumers more choice and flexibility in their viewing options while creating exceptional value. We have always been a sports leader, especially with respect to local sports, and appreciate the widespread support from America's broadcasters. And DirecTV also mentioned in the press release that it's including ESPN Unlimited access, which makes it a more compelling option, especially when compared to Fubo Sports, who only has ESPN Unlimited but not Fox 1, and DirecTV has both. And Fubo Sports, as a refresher, will include local broadcast stations owned and operated by ABC, CBS, and Fox, plus a number of other channels. It's missing NBC, USA, MLB and NHL Networks, Golf Channel, and the Turner Networks. And it's $55 a month after the first month. We weren't fans of My Sports at the beginning. It is a pretty pricey, skinny bundle, not so skinny. But with its continuous additions, it makes it a bit more compelling. I wish it was $10 or $20 cheaper, but this is DirecTV, so it's not going to be cheap. So if you want something for football season, it really does make it a good option and saves you some money compared to something like YouTube TV or Hulu Live. You could save about $10 a month on that, which, in this day and age is savings to have. And a question, do you think that Disney will put access to Disney Plus Hulu in the next YouTube TV deal? I would hope so. It would make sense for them to get more eyes on it, especially since ESPN Unlimited is going to be the thing. I would think that they would, but really price is going to be the issue, and I would anticipate a YouTube TV price increase coming with any of those, and more so if ESPN Unlimited is included. So I would see it easily getting to $90, if not more.
Yeah, price, and I also think Disney wants, like they all do, Disney wants to keep people within its ecosystem, because what they're really interested in is the data from our streaming behavior, and then what they can connect that to with our purchasing behavior. So I would think Disney wouldn't want to give that up to YouTube TV just for more eyeballs on its content.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time seeing that happening, but we'll see. So next story is another price increase potentially, this time with HBO Max. So David Zaslav, who will be the CEO of Warner Brothers, spoke at a Goldman Sachs Communicopia and Technology conference on Wednesday, saying that he anticipates the completion of the spinoff to occur sometime in April of 2026. Now that would be, as we've discussed in the past and referenced here today, spinning off from Discovery Global, spinning Discovery Global off from Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers would hold on to the streaming and studio business, and then Discovery Global would have all those linear networks. So he said that in April of next year, about 6 to 7 months, that spinoff should occur. But that really wasn't the big piece of information. And what we're interested in is that there could be a price hike coming for HBO Max. So he said, quote, this is quality, streaming quality content across our motion picture TV production and streaming services. We think all this gives us a chance to raise price. We think we're way underpriced. We're going to take our time. One of the reasons why he says they can raise prices is because he claims Americans were paying twice as much for content just 10 years ago. And he believes that the level of quality of content has increased, and that justifies raising prices. One could argue that, given his comments, that HBO Max would truly begin in earnest to crack down on password sharing, but that's not necessarily the case. And Zaslav had a reason for that. He said, we want them to fall in love with our content, and then over time, with password sharing, we're going to push that. I think our ability to raise price as people become more and more in love with the quality we have and the series we have will be a real ability, because pricing across the board, there are too many players. In order to stay alive, a lot of the players have just decided to drop prices aggressively, which I don't know who he's talking about, because no one is dropping prices.
Yeah.
So to sum that piece of his comments up, password sharing crackdowns are coming, but they're delayed. Why? Because he wants people to use the platform more, and once they have more people in, then they're going to raise prices, as he believes they're underpriced. It's important to remember here, they are going to lose the BR Sports add-on when the TNT Sports streaming service launches, so that will be a value loss for the higher tier plans. And taking a step back, look across the space, we can see that HBO Max is relatively in the middle. So Apple TV Plus is now almost $13.99 a month. Peacock is either $10.99 or $16.99, depending on if you have ads or not. Paramount Plus is $7.99 or $12.99, depending on if you have ads or not.
They're going to have a price increase soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're going to go up. Yeah, no, that's a great point. They're going to go up, and HBO with ads has always been $9.99 a month. It has never raised its price since launch of that plan.
Well, for the ad supported.
For just, that's what I'm saying. Just the ad supported plan has stayed at that rate. So I'm sure it's easy for them to argue, hey, we have room to go up. And Obviously, we don't have a crystal ball, but I don't think it would be surprising to see a 50% price hike when they roll it out.
Several dollars at least, I would think. I would think that they would look at like what Peacock did recently and what Apple TV Plus did recently, and raising rates by at least $3. That would not shock me at all whatsoever to see. And the ad-free one possibly even more.
Yeah.
Because those two plans are the ones that they have raised prices on.
And we know they make
recently.
money. Their ad revenue is dependent on the number of people watching those ads. So it makes sense that they don't want to crack down on password sharing yet. They need more eyeballs in order to make the ad revenue that they want.
And would make them a more compelling option for a buyout, an acquisition target. And I agree, he's out of touch. I want what he's smoking.
Yeah.
As the saying goes.
I do, and I also, if he's underpinning this move on the quality of their content, I think it's going to be questionable then to see, can HBO is driving that for them. Do they have enough quality content in the pipeline to justify a price hike?
Yeah, and I don't think that they'll care. I really don't.
But then it'll just make it easier for people to cancel the service because you're taking away Discovery, you're taking away sports, you took away news, you're really pinning it all on your original content.
Yeah, for sure. And good question about the FCC requiring broadcast networks to go internet. That's a good question that would rely on our government to act, and I don't see that on either side. So
well, and you really have to ask for rural areas or people that don't have internet, a good internet signal. What are you doing then if you take away access to local networks in terms of just your basic news at some kind of level of news?
Yeah, because local news fulfills a huge need.
It does,
especially for more rural folks, for weather and news and stuff like that.
And I would argue the FCC has a duty to make sure that they allow access to that information for all Americans on some level. Whether or not they will agree with me on that, it's up to them, I suppose. But
and in terms of when will sports leave HBO Max, I wouldn't. So this is speculative, but I would imagine by the time of the spinoff, which they're saying is going to complete. By their Zaslav's stated goal this week was by April. So I would imagine sometime in that window we would see it leave or turned into something where you can bundle it and possibly spend more to get it. So that's all we have for the week. I did forget to mention at the top, we will not be here next week. We've got a scheduling conflict, but we will definitely be watching things. We'll plan to, what's 2 weeks from today, September 26th. We plan to be here then, and
all right, well, everyone have a great weekend, and
thank
to
you for
all
watching.
The K-State fans tuning in, go Cats.
Yep, have a great weekend, everyone.